Good evening. I'm rolling back 50 years. When I came to the United States, cinema was 50 years old. When I look back now, it seems everything of significance has been done by that time. Look at the names. Griffith, Chaplin, Keaton, Rossellini, von Stroheim, Eisenstein, Bigot, Renoir, Maya Deren, in the first 50 years. And literature was the same. Faulkner, Dreiser, Hemingway, Dos Passos, Arthur Miller, Ezra Pound, Whitman, Sandburg. American literature has been written by that time. What else we had in those days? Men wore pants with cuffs. Women wore very, very wide skirts and red lipstick. No supermarkets. What else? Yes, there was no independent cinema. Only Hollywood. Hollywood made movies. Studios made movies. People didn't make movies. We had Connie Francis, Fabian, Francis Avalon. Do you know who were there? They were all singers. They were bigger than Madonna or Stones or Beatles combined. They were big. And we had Senator Joseph McCarthy. May his soul never rest in hell. I can hear him out there, down below. When I came to the United States, the first $10 we saved, we bought 1-year ticket to Museum of Modern Art. And myself and my brother, we used to switch that pass with the gates. So one goes in, mills around and passes the pass to another one outside, and we would go in and watch movies. There were many movies there. The entire history of cinema was screened week after week after week. So we used to call it Mama, Museum of Modern Art Mama. She was our mama of cinema. And not only Mama, there were fantastic cinemas in New York City in those days. Fifth Avenue Cinema showed only French revivals. Thalia showed every day a double bill of revivals from all over the world and United States. So in a year you could see 700 classic, important movies. In 2 years, 1,400. They changed. They had a cycle of changing every 3 years, these movies. And they would be sitting there day after day. There were film societies, Theodore Hoff Film Society, showing only silent movies. Cinema 16, avant-garde, European avant-garde movies. Stanley Cinema, showing only Russian revival movies. And Laugh In on 42nd Street showed only comedy shorts. And then I had my own film forum, Film Society, where we tried to show films that we thought nobody showed. It lasted 2 seasons, then it went belly up. No more money. There were one book on film published every couple of years. One could carry the entire film book library on one's back. And there were only 5 film magazines in the entire world. 1 in France, 1 in Russia, 1 in England, and 2 in the United States. That's all. There were no film schools, no film departments in colleges or universities, because films were made in studios, not by people. 5 years in the States, myself and my brother, we started something, the consequences of which we were not aware. We published the first issue of Film Culture magazine. With that, we unleashed a monster. Within years, Film Culture became the rallying point, the focal point of the new cinema in the States. It became a focusing class through which we saw the new world of cinema. It became a clearinghouse for other filmmakers, also for filmmakers from Europe visiting the United States. We became chaperones and guides through the tunnels and canyons of New York, to Fellini, Antonioni, Rossellini, Buñuel, Truffaut, and many others. We were not filmmakers. We were writers, poets, painters. We were all involved in other forms of art. In 1954, there was no such a word as filmmaker. That word was invented much, much later by the foundations. Filmmaker is the foundation English. We called ourselves cineasts, cinema lovers. And cinema lovers don't have to be filmmakers. We were very young, inexperienced, foolish, and very, very different from each other. One thing united us. We were very unhappy with the cultural and art scene around us. When I say unhappy with the state of art, we were unhappy about cinema, architecture, poetry, dance, theater, literature, music, whatever. We were angry. We wanted to chop down everything that was around us. Cut down at the base, pull out the roots, and start fresh. No more rules. No rules, period. No idols, no gods. We said art does not have rules. Art does not have gods. We are for the revolution, total revolution in the arts. And we started to write manifestos. We said, as long as you admire the past, we are not free. We are still tied down. We are still tied down by the rules of the past. We cannot fly. We were very big on the rhetorical statements. We said, let's turn our backs on everything that has been done until now. We said, we are the new generation, generation without old rules. And Madison Avenue called us the Beat Generation. Our battle cry was personal art, strip yourself naked. No more institutional art, no more academia, no more museums. Museums are for dead art only. Then down with critics, we call them crickets. Down with and to hell with museums. I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. I don't care if you don't like it, I'm doing it. New literature was being written, new dance, new music, new cinema. Everything was fresh and exciting. People came out of woodwork, Jack Kerouac, Allen Ginsberg, Gregory Corso, Leroy Jones, known also as Baraka, Robert Frank, Larry Rivers, Andy Warhol, Stan Brakhage, Merce Cunningham, Eric Hawkins, John Cage, and Mekas brothers. Everybody was there to start something new, something different. And a new form of art emerged, The Happening, Capro and others. Today, Happening degenerated into what's institutionally known as installation art or performance art. Today you must add the word art to make it official. Installation art, video art, film art, bullshit art. And then, of course, then came out the glorious Fluxus movement, a true anti-art, new data movement. And I was happy to belong to it at the very beginning. Also, I would like to pat myself on the shoulder once in a while. It makes you feel good. Film culture was always in the vanguard. As I said, film culture was not for film people. At that time, all the arts were together, were not separated into villages yet. Filmmakers danced, poets made sculpture, everybody made music. We around film culture felt confident enough, strong enough in our convictions to call for a total war, a holy war. In '61, we called a meeting in New York of New York area intellectuals and issued a manifesto. We called for new cinema, for cinema the color of blood. The assembled people signed the manifesto. Others signed from distance. It was a formidable group of over 50 people. Allen Ginsberg, Maysles brothers, Don Pennebaker, Michelangelo Antonioni, Rossellini, Truffaut, Godard, Fellini, Relin, Brooks, Bogdanovich, Norman Mailer, Anais Nin, Arthur Miller, Elia Kazan, John Cassavetes, myself and my brother Jonas, and many, many other people. And long, short 5 years, long because of the fantastic productivity of this group. It changed the face of cinema in the world until Madison Avenue betrayed us. They called our films underground. Police raided screenings, closed theaters, arrested people. But that's a story for another time. We'll come back to that. You are going to see now Innocence Unprotected, by a crazy Yugoslav, Dusan Makavejev. I was honored to have this film dedicated to me. Dusan said that my first film, Hallelujah the Hills, inspired him to make films It proved to him that films are not made in studios. Films could be made anywhere. And he made this film with a crew of 3. And he gave me a print which has hand-colored sequences in it as his way of saying thank you. All right, we'll see the film, and I hope next week I'll see you in person.